Oculee, and I am the Chief Financial Strategist here at Confidence Wealth. What I'm going to do is whenever I see a hot topic, I'm going to hop in really quickly and talk to you about a topic that has been just the topic of the conversation, basically. So for this last month, I would say the biggest topic has been the new shiny objects of Wall Street. What do I mean by that? So let's talk a little bit about gold and Bitcoin. So last year there were a lot of fear mongering happening, and it seemed like the magic bean to all the solution was gold. So imagine if you put everything into gold, and as you saw, gold prices started coming down. And then there was Bitcoin, right? Let's just put it this way. Tesla made more money from selling Bitcoin and renewed energy than they did instead of selling the actual car Tesla itself. Pretty funny, right? But then again, look at what's happening with Bitcoin. Look at what recently happened with Tesla. So I'm not saying that the new shiny object doesn't mean it's going to be all bad. It just means it's a risk. And this is where you have to be really careful that just because you hear all the noise in the market, it doesn't mean that what you hear about is the thing you should put everything on and bet everything on it. Just imagine walking into a casino and putting everything on a number. That's what it means when you hear about a shiny object and you want to go in with everything you've got. You have to be really careful. When you hear things like this, and if it's a topic that's like, or an actual, let's just put it this way. Let's say you decide you wanted to buy Bitcoin, right? It's not a true asset allocation, but let's say if you wanted to do it, wouldn't it be appropriate to do it as part of a plan? Meaning, I'm going to put enough in there that if I lose it all, it's not going to affect me. And that's how I want you to look at anything that you hear that's the new shiny object. I want you to look at it. Do I believe in it? Do I think it's really the next big thing? And if it is, how much can I put in it that I will, if I lose it all, it's okay? Because really, it's the plan that matters the most. When you have a solid plan in place, you don't worry about these things. Let me also bring to your attention, in the 1600s, there was the tulip mania. Can you imagine? Because tulips were in fashion. The prices of tulips, that's right, I'm talking about tulips, was rising like crazy. And everybody was jumping in buying tulips. Like, are you kidding me? Now you look back and you think it's pretty funny. So no one really knows what the next big thing is. And that's the whole thing. If we knew what the next big thing was, then guess what? That person would have a secret and they'll be the wealthiest person in the world and they would never share it. So you have to be really careful when you hear things like that, and you have to make sure that you are crossing your T's, you are dotting your I's, and you're making sure that you're not just doing this because you heard everybody else is doing it and it must be a great thing. You have to step back and say, okay, what does this mean to me? How does it work in my plan? And if I invested the money in this and if I lost it, what would it mean? And that's how I want you to always look at the shiny new object. There's always going to be noise in the market. And there's always going to be ripples and waves. So you have to make sure that everything is set up the right way for you, that you're not going to be, in a sense, have one big wave or tsunami take you away and wipe you out. You want to be careful. So that is going to be my big advice to you. Big shiny object, step back, observe. What are you willing to lose? How much you're willing to put into it? And does it actually make sense for your plan? Where you want to be always is a confident plan. You want to have this quiet confidence that everything I have set in place for myself is working out. And I am not going to be in the business of chasing the new shiny object and get myself in trouble. So that was the hot topic of this week. And one other thing I want to talk to you about actually off of this topic, because I do think it's so important, are Roth conversions, because that's another hot topic I hear a lot about. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to hop back in next week, talk about this a little bit more. But Roth conversions are a topic that's very much talked about right now. And the biggest reason is that we're in so much debt when you look at, as a country, with everything, the CARE Act, everything we had to put in place. We're in so much debt that the only way we can at some point pay this debt or even maintain it is that we have to raise taxes. It doesn't matter who's in office, we have to get taxes up in order to be able to pay for it. Now, most of us are fine paying our fair share of taxes, but nobody wants to pay a penny more. So what you need to make sure, why there's so much conversation about this Roth, is because now we have the ability, and we've had it for the last few years, that we can take some of our IRA money and convert it to Roth. And there is no income limit because it's not a contribution. Now, don't get me wrong, there's rules and we got to look at it. We have to make sure it fits in your plan. We got to talk to your CPA and all of that good stuff. But the point is, the reason you're hearing noise about this side, which is totally different than the new shiny object, is that there is a purpose and reason behind it. There's a reason why you see a lot of people converting and talking about Roth conversions. And we need to make sure, does it fit in your plan? And should you have a forward tax plan in place, accounting for if taxes do in fact go up in the future, do you have a bucket dedicated to, in a sense, that tax-free bucket? So if you've been wondering about either one of these two topics, please go ahead, and you're more than welcome to go ahead and call or email me at the number that's right at the corner of your screen, and I'll be happy to answer that. And remember, don't ever jump into anything without doing your numbers and the plan and talking to the right person. Until next time.